This poor guy has seen better days. And if you know, these wooden bed bugs right now in natural wood are trending. People are loving them. So what do you think was there? I'm hoping to make a template to fill that in because I'd like to try to leave it natural. We got a lot of buildup here in the sides. Got some tape left. It's got some worn tape. So I think first of all, I'm going to see how much I can get cleaned. First, we're going to take that tape off. I don't know how long the tape's been on there. I'm going to see how much I can get cleaned off. So I'm going to take rubbing alcohol. That way I'm not putting too much wood, and that, yes, this is still wood. That's why I'm not putting so much water on it that it's going to swell the wood to get this off. It does look like that's working. Oh, I still feel the stickiness of the spray pan, the spray pan, the kitchen grease. Yes, you can use alcohol as a mild, very, what's that, tape? Well, now that the wood is wet, though, stripper. So I'm using it, trying to get the spray pan off of this, trying to make this look up. Where do you think they touched all the time? Oh, look at big difference. So yeah, my goal in here is not to paint this because they are wanting unpainted. Was crazy. Like when I started the channel, we were painting bread boxes because nobody wanted the wood, and now people want the wood. So doesn't matter either way. I got to try to get this grease off of there, and it is working. Yeah, sometimes when you put it in the sink and you start scrubbing on it, you swell the wood. It raises the wood, then you got to wait for your wood to completely dry out. But alcohol, it works. No, can you tell a difference? I hope that you can. I know you get a little bit of white residue, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm just going to take now just Dawn dish soap in a rag and make sure I get that rubbing alcohol off the piece. Not sure if this is above my pay grade or not, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to trace a. Oh, I have two pieces of paper. So I'm going to try to trace so I can cut out a piece of wood. So I could, like, Bondo if I was painting it, but I'm not painting it. Like right now, the people buying these are looking for the natural. So I'm trying to save this one. And so my darker mark, of course, is where the, it's hitting there. Oh, well, I'm a little big, but better to be big than right. So let me. little mark. It's just I'm just creating a template. I have no idea if I'm good at this or not. So, let's do it this way. Let's butt it up here. I figure I can whittle it away. So I just kept sanding and sanding and sanding until I got that. And I know it's actually ended up being a little bit smaller because it was hard to get that. I think I'm just going to make it work. I'm just going to make it work because that was not, I don't know how it went from, well, because I kept sanding. So yeah, it's all good. We don't know how it just did. So it just did get a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use some, where is it? I'm going to use some Fusions Picket Fence to paint this. Figure it's easier to paint it now before I get and put a word on it. It'll take a couple coats, but I really didn't plan on sanding the whole thing, but once I got the gunk off and you saw how much damage, I mean, not damage to the wood, just damage to the finish, just how it's going to be planned. So I'm going to get this glued in here. And then I do have some black epoxy glue that I can put around the sides. So I'm going to get this glued in, let that set up, tape that off, and then get that glue in there before I stain to finish it. That way you don't have that lip. So some tie bond. And then I'm going to use some Star Bond to kind of hold it because it's a weird angle. So this is Star Bond. A little mixture there. Accelerator. Hopefully I can work fast enough. Not at all what I thought when I bought the red box. And I actually bought it out of somebody's booth. So, hey, I'm all good for project pieces. So I'm just going to tape and then wait an hour. Make sure that glue is on there. Okay, I'm going to remove my tape. It's hard to keep it up at this angle, but I'm going to reuse my tape. Need something stronger to hold it up, but I will make it work. Let me just do this white. So I need to remove my tape. I'm going to reuse it. Hopefully it doesn't slide underneath. I'm going to take all that other area off. Okay, so I have it all taped off. Rubbing on my edges. Star Bond comes in a black, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm kind of going to use it like an epoxy to fill in this gap. Because all I can imagine is food and everything getting stuck in there. The first layer dried. Now I'm going to spray a little bit. I just put a second layer. This is the activator that helps it dry. Give it 15 seconds and we can, what I'm trying to do is fill it up so it's even, flush, I'm hoping. I'll leave the tape on. I'm sure it'll eventually come off while I'm sanding it, but that way a little less will come off. So I probably shouldn't have painted it first, but how awesome is that it fills in? And maybe stain it. Instead of doing white farmhousey, maybe just stain it with the rest of it. But I need to blow it off though. Now I made a lot of sanding dust, but that does work. It is a little bit raised, but it's all good. Definitely not something I do a lot of. So I have driftwood on hand, so we will see how that works. Just gonna let it soak in. I'm sure this wood is very dry. Call it good, but I could not. I'm like, no, it totally needs more than that. And now it'll be fresh. And that'll be a different color. So I'm like, well, that's kind of, I'm like, no, I think I'm going to do the wording on that. Okay, then I'll just wipe off the excess. Still on the fence what I want to do with this, if I want to paint it white or not, because there is a little bit of ring of white around it, but we'll see how that works. Now, normally I would do like polyacrylic, but I absolutely love weather defense, so I'm going to see how that works on this piece. So I just went with a simple. I'm not sure about the bread. I think the shape that I like the swoosh, but I don't think that shape is going to work out for the swoosh. So I think just the bread, that's what I'm going to do. Number 5. Now I have to make a decision. Oh my gosh, this just looks so much better, y'all. It was way worth to sand it. The inside is now clean. We don't have spots. But now I have to decide. I think I'm going to leave it natural. I love the tone on tone of wood, even though there's a little bit of the white left around. I think it's character. So I printed out the bread. Do a little bit of measuring. And I'm going to use some StazOn ink to do this. Wish for the best. The ink just stays flatter. Sponge. There we go. That got it a little bit darker. I'll spray over it, but I'm going to let it dry first. Don't forget to put our knob back on, right? So my next natural, yes, look at the stains on this beautiful cutting board. Little bit of burn on that side. I have been looking for a checkerboard to fit into my decor. I painted one red, but it doesn't really go with my decor, but I put it there. And I would like a green one, and I tried to bid at one on an auction, but I got outbid. So I'm going to create my own. I do have a stencil from Amazon. I don't know if it's going to be too small or if I'm going to have to create it. So fingers crossed that the stencil works. If not, I will share with you how to do it with tape. Okay, so I think the one that I have is way too small. So when I bought these stencils off of Amazon, I just like their checkerboard, right? But I didn't realize until the ones that I had here, they were enough spaces, but I think that's the size. I kind of have to like envision, like, so I need 8. So a regular checkerboard would have had 8 lines. So I need to see if this is too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that won't fit. So I think I'm just going to have to figure out what tape will work. These are too small. That's the right number of lines. These are too big to overlap. I don't know. Is that my 2-inch tape then? Is my tape too big? Oh yeah, that's my tape right there. I don't know. We'll make it work. I'll figure it out. So first, it doesn't matter. I gotta find center. So luckily it is a 24. Yay! That doesn't happen often. It happens often. So I've got center right here, and I'm just using a pencil. And then, so 18. So that would be 9. So there's my center. Found my center. X marks the spot, right? And I figured I'm just going to use this one because it has less marks on it. So I've got my center. And then I would like to come in at least 2 inches from the sides. To know that's the spots that I'm not going to be painting on. We're going to work with our squares here. So 14. So 14. So how often do I need to make them? 14 divided by 8 is what I need to figure out my size. 1 3/4, and I believe that this tape is this is a 2-inch tape. Yes, it's a 2-inch tape. Make an 1.25 inches? I don't know. So there's an inch, and that is a half. So I'm going to make a piece of tape that is the size that I need, so I can at least get one in the center. Okay, there's my little 1 7/5, and then fold it in half. Am I making this more complicated than it needs to be? chances are really good that I am. There's my center. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw pencil marks. Oh, probably have to come out some. Just need to make 8 lines, 8 lines, right? So I'm just going to move my little piece of tape that I know is the size that I need. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to leave more of the top, less at the bottom. Like if you see the vintage ones, a lot of times that's how they are. Okay, now to offset so I can get 8. I didn't think about that it was, they need to be offset set. Completely did that wrong. So every other one, I should be doing this. Sometimes I wonder about myself. But I want one, that's all I know. I'm going to make it happen. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where my paint's going. I have achieved it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sort of all uniform. We're good. I got it. I got that much. Not worried about the pencil marks. I just needed to get it on. Oh, I'm happy. I'm going to see about taping off and then cutting. We'll see how that works. If not, I'll just go in by hand and do it. It'll be fine. Because as you see, it's not right. You can't. Maybe the smaller tape. Double that up. Yeah, I think that'll work. Me and my bright ideas. It's all good. I'll problem solve. I always problem solve for you all, so then you don't have to have the problems. Okay, now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. And cut by the tape. and do that. Yes, I realize that the ones that I marked with the X are not the ones that got left. It's all good. It's all good. We got squares. That's all that counts. For my paint color, I'm going to use DIY's Salty Kiss. I just want to make sure everybody's down because I'm going to attempt to roll it on. That's not quite big enough. Sometimes the day struggles are just how they are. Get everything covered. Gonna take the heat gun, dry it a little bit, unless it starts pulling up my tape, and then I'll stop. But as long as I'm not holding it on there too long, it should be good. I'm gonna need 2 coats to cover up the pencil marks. Crazy how it dries, isn't it? That clay-based paint. Now I'm going to take some shellac. That's going to seal the first coat in. It's going to help me cover up those pencil marks. And then instead of rolling it on, because you can water distress sand DIY's paint, instead of rolling it and having it start to lift off some of my paint, this will help it stay down. So you can tell, not enough paint. You can see the pencils. Okay, we're dry. Go in with that second coat. The shellac will help attract the second coat too. And I just want to make sure that I've got coverage, so I'm going to go in with the third coat, just right over the top of the DIY paint. Okay, now I'm going to take Weather Defense, I'm going to seal this in, and then depending if I can get the pencil marks off, if not, I'll just paint those squares. Well, it's still drying, but anyways, I got all these squares to remove anyway. So I'm just using a little acetone because I kind of wanted to keep those natural. And then just get rid of my pencil marks. Would it have been easier if I remembered to tape off the ones that I X'd out the most? Probably, but this is not a project that I was going to make easy on myself, that's for sure. But that's working as an eraser. Okay, I got my pencil marks off. I'm just gonna take some sandpaper. Get the mane off first there. Get the dust off. I think I got most of the pencil marks off. Hey, it's a checkerboard. We achieved a checkerboard. Gonna use a little bit of Fusion's aging wax. The thing I like about DIY paint is when you sand it and you fill it, it's not this perfect paint job. It's not everybody's jam, but that's what I'm going for. If I'm trying to make something look old, I don't want to use something that looks like a crisp paint job. And I think when I was cutting this line, it's not the pencil mark as it is, I cut into it with my X-Acto knife. So once I added that wax, it was like, hello, that's a detail you're going to be bringing out, but that's okay. It's exactly what I was thinking that I wanted. Imperfections and all.